Solo Scrooge, sending peace and blessings to you all out there. Hashtag Solo Nation. How's everyone doing? Hope everyone's well. Been gone for a few days. I'm back, guys. You know, I had to recover, had to recoup. Feeling fresh today. So let's get it. It's core season, guys. Shout out to my brother Mackenzie. It's core season. Shout out to Marco and Albert. So on part 10, we went over Coreum side chains and proof of stake. So today in part 11, we're going to go over validators. Let's run over the validators quickly, see what needs to be done to become a validator, and so on. So validators. In Tendermint, validators are responsible for the seamless operation of the network by ensuring that blockchain invariants are enforced and consensus is reached. They do so by putting their assets as stake, which grants them voting power proportional to the amount of their stake. Delegation is another source of getting voting power, which will be discussed later. The exact procedure of Tendermint consensus is described in the Tendermint white paper and their website. In Coreum, there are different types of validators, as public validator, introduced to allow any network user to participate in the consensus and contribute to the security of the network. To increase decentralization, any network participant can become a public validator by staking a minimum amount of core tokens. Individuals can also step down from being a public validator. However, their stake will stay locked for some time after that, called unbonding period. Super validator. Any public validator can become a super validator by submitting a proposal via on-chain governance and setting more than 50% of votes from all validators. The reasoning behind introducing super validators is to add more trust to the circle of validators by introducing social trust. In other words, having a mix of super and public validators will allow Coreum to have the same level of security with less validators compared to only having public validators, which in turn will translate in delivering more throughput and less latency while keeping the same security guarantees. A super validator at any time may decide to step down and go back to being a public validator. And it is also possible for other token holders to submit a proposal to demote other super validators from becoming a super validator. Active validator. A subset of validators will be chosen for a period of time called active validator interval, AVI, to partake in the validation process. The active validators will be chosen from public and super validators with a fixed number of seats for each validator type. The active validators will rotate to give every validator a chance to participate in the process and earn rewards, which will increase decentralization and network participation. The motivation behind the active validator concept is to limit the number of validators that are actively participating on the consensus so Coreum can deliver high throughput at all times. There will be 16 active validators on the Coreum blockchain, including 9 public and 7 super validators. So 16 active validators, 9 public and 7 super validators, with a fixed number of active validators and an arbitrary number of public and super validators. A round-robin mechanism will be used to choose the active ones from the pool of public and super validators for the duration of the active validator interval, AVI. This means that there will be 2 queues one for each validator set, public and super validator, each of which contains a pair of validators together with their respective priority number. The steps listed below will be carried out in each queue. At the Genesis block, pre-configured validators will have some voting power, allowing blockchain to start. At each block, token holders may propose one of the following actions: to become a public validator, to step down from being public validator, to submit a proposal to become a super validator. The proposal will be put into vote via governance and accepted if the majority of the votes are in favor. To step down from being a super validator, to submit proposal to demote other super validators from their position. The proposal will be into vote via governance and get accepted only if votes are acquired. At the end of each AVI, in each queue, an algorithm will run to determine the next selection of active validators. A basic description of the algorithm follows, but the complete implementation is more nuanced. Top validators with the highest priority number will be chosen as the next validator, and their priority will be decreased by the total voting power present in the queue. Every validator in the queue will have their priority increased equal to their voting power. In order for an entity to become a validator, it must run a full node and have a stake of at least 10,000 core tokens. In regards to delegating, users who do not wish or do not have the means to become a validator can become delegators. In short, delegators can choose a validator and stake their core tokens by paying a commission to the validator. Delegators will also get punished if the validator misbehaves, so they must carefully choose who they delegate to avoid punishments. Delegators can also choose to delegate to multiple validators by consigning a portion of their stake to each one. This will help reduce the financial risk of getting slashed if one of the validators misbehaves, so not all of their assets would be subject to a single slashing. Moreover, delegators are also expected to actively participate in governance. A delegator's voting power is proportional to the size of their stake with the validator, and if they don't engage in the community voting, their power is shifted to the validators. So guys, it's core season, there you have it. Validators, public validator, super validator, active validators. Are you going to be a validator, guys? Are you going to delegate? Where are you delegating? If so, and you have to be careful who you're delegating to, because, you don't want your portion of the stake you've delegated to be slashed for the validator's inappropriate behavior. So, my people, I'm going to leave it there. It's core season. Like, subscribe, and share. I'm Solo Scrooge with the Solo News, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.